There's a lot of bad trends in Hollywood right now, but one of the worst is this whole failing upwards nonsense. Directors and writers come up with multiple projects that end up being duds, and yet they get rewarded for it. Whether it's the Marvels and WandaVision screenwriter joining the Tomb Raider universe, or the moron who wrote Multiverse of Madness and Loki being rewarded with the Avengers movies, we keep seeing idiots get rewarded for their failures. So it's not really shocking to see James Gunn and his DC reboot follow the same pattern. A few weeks back, James Gunn confirmed the people involved in his Green Lantern TV show, which in a stroke of pure idiocy is called Lanterns. Wonder where he got the idea to take out the word green. Not like that's ever been done before. Anyway, as usual, I saw Tom King's name and didn't even read past that. We already knew he was involved in this reboot, and anyone who's read his comics knows how terrible that sounds. The name I didn't pay much attention to at the time was Damon Lindelof. It took reading this article for me to notice he was involved. For those who don't know, Damon brought us that fantastic Watchmen TV show, which cranked up the messaging that was already present in the series to 1,000,000 and ended up being universally hated. He was also responsible for Lost, where he pulled a Game of Thrones and ended the show in a way that made fans want to forget they ever saw that show and prayed they never heard the name Lost again.
A hideously deformed monster.
Endings like that are actually harder to come up with than good endings because you go out of your way to subvert fan expectations solely for the purpose of adding some shock value to your show. That's what I never liked about shows like that, or even Game of Thrones. The idea of a plot twist or death just to shock the audience, and not because it necessarily fits into the plot or makes sense. It's the laziest kind of writing in my opinion, because you just rely on audiences being so shocked they keep tuning in week after week to see what happens, not why it's happening. It becomes more about random events and less about caring about the plot and character development, and it ends up pissing off everyone by the time it's over.
I'm done. I'm done.
Take this comment from 2012, about 2 years after Lost ended. This is someone who's had plenty of time to sit with the ending and really think about how they feel. Obviously they hated it, and they made their feelings about Damon pretty clear. Calling someone the devil and saying they have no integrity? I mean, wow, that's hatred. They definitely wouldn't want to interact with Damon, considering they called him a scam artist, so it's hard to believe that person would ever, trust Damon with anything. Now you're probably thinking, athletic hero, you're laying it on pretty thick here, what's the deal? Well viewer, it's because this comment was written by my least favorite, lying, contradicting, hypocritical idiot, James Gunn.
No way! No way!
Jimmy the Idiot never ceases to amaze me, and I can't say I'm shocked he's the type of guy to sacrifice his self-respect and beliefs on the Hollywood altar. It's not breaking news to anyone he's a hypocrite. We've seen that play out multiple times over the last few years. He clearly has no morals or dignity as a man to stand by his own words, which again isn't shocking to me at all by this point. Makes complete sense to hire a guy who wrote an ending so bad you called him a lying scam artist devil with no integrity. You can call it a joke if you want, because we all know Gunn has a dark sense of humor, or say he changed his mind if you're dumb enough to believe that kind of passionate hatred ever really goes away. But I'm not going to participate in making excuses for Gunn's latest slip up.
You're a poor excuse for a man. Get out.
This is going to be a very important DC show, and not just because it sets up one of the most important groups in all of DC. Gunn himself has said that the mysteries of this show tie directly into the overall plot of his DCU, which clearly means whatever issue is going to be big enough to bring the Justice League together eventually is most likely going to be introduced in this show. So who does Jimmy the Idiot go out and hire to run it? The moron who helped tank DC Comics, and the dunce who ruined Watchmen and Lost. Seriously, Jimmy, I can't say enough how much of a goddamn genius you are. Truly, you are the man who is going to save DC from ever getting close to success.
Take a hike, bro. Put a vest with a bunch of pockets on, get a stick, whittle it down, make it 3 feet, get to steppin'.
As a longtime DC fan, it just makes me sad to see what we're stuck with. We've got a dumbass in charge who makes Pinocchio and the Boy Who Cried Wolf seem like honest, well-behaved kids, and he insists on surrounding himself with people who are just as brainless as he is. Not only that, but he goes out of his way to hire someone who created something so bad it pissed Gunn off to the point that he called him a lying scam artist devil. How are we as the audience supposed to trust Gunn when he can't even stand by his own words and be honest with himself?